No vensanku. Urongo sign and enter no. Okay. Alright, greetings everyone. I hope you can all hear me. Alright, greetings everyone. I hope you can all hear me. With this. Alright, greetings everyone. I hope you can all hear me. With this. So today we are going to continue with looking at some pro tips in Lumion. And today's session we'll be looking at this. Now a lot of you have been asking us how they create. You see, you do an interior design and you want to put a video, you know, to be playing on the screen like this and not just the blank screen. Also, you can also have like an environment out here that is lively, you know, with like a city, you know, and all that. So today's session we're going to be looking at that. Let me just play this video so you see this video. Now you can see the screen. It has a live video of whatever is playing there. So that is what we are actually going to be looking at. Now I'm going to be doing that. I will just go ahead and I load up an example file here that we can use. We'll use one of these examples. Let me see which one can we really use here. Let's just take maybe this one even though that's an exterior scene, but there's no problem. The Valley Winery. And by the way, the version of Lumion that I'm using is 12.5. But you can use any version to follow along. You can use any version if it is from at least version 8. That is Lumion 8 onwards. Yeah. You can use any version from Lumion 8 onwards. And the procedure is still going to be, yeah, the procedure is still going to be the same. So let's just wait while this loads. Okay, we are in here. So I'm just going to come in this. What do we have here? This is the kitchen. Yeah, this is the kitchen right here. So let us see how. The first thing that we have to do is, of course, first of all, to create our. We need to set our camera for where we want the video to be like. So since we are speaking of a screen, well, this is a kitchen. Let's just say maybe working in this kitchen, you want to have like a screen here, you know, and stuff. Yeah. So we're going to do that. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is I'm just going to come here in the movie part. Already we should have some movies in there, but that's not what we want. So we're going to create ours from scratch. We're just going to come here and I record this. Now I want this to actually play from here. So the screen is going to be here. You know what? Let's place the screen in there first, just for visibility purposes. So let us actually just cancel out of here and we go back into the build. And I'm going to come here to place and I want to search for a screen. Now you will see there is a little modification that we're going to have to do here. If we were to select the appliances, or that is the screen from Lumion, let's say maybe this one. Let's take a flat screen that doesn't have a stand. Yeah, flat screen without a stand, something like this. I'm just gonna place this here and maybe rotate this just so it flushes on the wall. If you're rotating this and you're having a problem, just use this orientation handles down here. Sometimes it's easier to rotate by using this. Okay. All right, the next thing that we have to do is actually to scale this. So let's scale this to be bigger. Of course, we are going to want a big screen. And then let's move this down a little bit. Say like this. Okay, there we go. The proportion of this side is a little bit too long. Just to make it to look realistic, let's try to centralize it. Say something like this. Okay, so we have put the screen. And this is where we're going to make the video for this one to be playing. okay? But there is going to be a problem. Let me show you that. Now, you see the way that video has to be is we want it to be playing in this screen. And if you notice, if we were to try to apply a material on this screen, it is not going. Basically, what we are just going to do is we will just, we are supposed to have a screen that the material that actually shows the display, which is the screen itself, is made of a different material than this. So all these screens that come from Lumion, we're not going to be able to use that, unfortunately. Yep. So you're actually going to have to get a screen from one of the sites that I have actually been telling you guys a lot. And you have to get a screen that you bring it in here and you test, and you can actually make sure that this glass here is different from the screen itself. Alternatively, you can easily create something like this in Revit, because the one that I'm using was actually created in Revit. So you can just create this. It's actually very easy for you to create screen like this, you know, in Revit and stuff. So you can even use even the wall command to, you know, maybe bring something, or you can use generic model to bring something like this, bring out something like this. We just have a frame around, you know, and stuff. And you just work with these edges, and then make sure that this one in the center is just made of another material. So this has a different material, this has a different material. I'm just going to load in one now and I'll show you. So when you do that, you save it as an FBX file, okay? FBX, so you can actually import it in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove this one back since it's not going to work, and I am going to bring in one here. Well, I already have one here. I am going to bring in, say, this one, for instance. Let's see this one. This one is quite a big screen. There's no problem in that. And let's just rotate this. We have it there. Now positioning it is a little bit of a problem, but I want it to be on this wall. It's kind of in the wall, so we're just going to use the movement tools to bring this out a little bit. Say maybe something like this. Okay, there we go. And then we just bring this back. Say something like this. All right, now you can see there's already a video there. This is actually a video, but I'm going to quickly remove that, and I'll do all this from scratch. You can see that is a video that is already playing there. Well, I actually used this for another project, but I will just remove this video real quick. Let's just get rid of that video. Yeah, and we have just a blank screen there, and I'll show you how you can actually do that. But what you should note about this screen is, you see, when I come in here, this is another material, right? This is another material, and the frame actually has another material. You can see that, right? So these are two different materials. So that is the point that you want to note here. So if you have successfully had this, the next thing that you just have to do is actually to come in here, and you, first of all, let me show you where to get this. Okay, let me show you where to get this, where you can actually get you know, these screens and all. If you come to, just a minute, let's bring this in. If you go to the 3G warehouse, you're going to have to go and create an account here. It's a 3G warehouse. For those of you who are fond of using SketchUp, or who have actually taken the interior design course, you should know about this. So if you come to the 3G warehouse, let's open this. It's free. You don't need to pay anything to have an account here. Just create an account here. And then I'm just going to search for, let's just say maybe something like TV. Okay, here we go. So you can see different types of screens here, as you can see. But we want one that is flat. So you see, like this one. Now, when you click on download, which is this, when you click on download here, oh, I'm not yet signed in. So of course I said you have to create an account. Let me just sign in real quick. So I'm just gonna click on sign in. Since I'm already in, you just need to pick up your Trimble identity and all that, and you're good to go. Let's just sign in real quick. Oh, this is not actually the account that I am supposed to use there. Sorry about that. That is not the account. So again, I'm just gonna go for 3D warehouse. Let's open this real quick. And of course, you can see that for this one, I think I am already signed in here. So let's just search that again. Okay, so you have an endless supply of them here. You just need to make your choice. You can, this is a 60-inch one, but there's really no problem since you can easily scale it in Lumion. It doesn't really matter the size. Just avoid getting one that actually has a stand like this. Just avoid getting one that actually has a stand, you know, like this. So if we were to go for, say, maybe this one, if I just click on download, now you see it's gonna ask if you want to download it as a SketchUp file or a Collada file. You want to download it as a Collada file, so you can import it in Lumion. Okay, so I'm just going to download this one real quick. So I'm going to click there, download, and this one is actually downloading as a zip file, as you can see. That's not a problem. Let's just click on that. Alright, so it has downloaded. Let's just open where that is, and this is it here, group 12. I'm just going to quickly copy this and I go with it on the desktop. I paste that there, and then I'll extract this here real quick, and this is it here. You have this model.dae. Of course, if you have been exporting stuff from other softwares into Lumion, you will know that the file type that goes into Lumion, the Collada file extension is .dae. Okay, we also have the FBX extension, but for this one, we're going to be working with this DAE file. So, well, this model just shows you a picture of it, but this is the file that we are looking for, the model, this model.da. So when you have had this, now what you have to do is you have to go back into Lumion and you actually import this as a model. You're importing it as a model. Okay, so if I come now, import new model, I just go to desktop, select this, open. Well, I'm just going to have to give it a new name. I'll just call this, just give it whatever name that you think that you can. Let's just call it TV. You can also filter a category here. Category is just maybe different folders that you've created where you place different stuff. Like we work with very large projects, so we have different folders for that. Or you can just always leave it under the default main category. So you just click there, and it's going to take some time for it to actually do that import, and boom. Now you see we have that screen. Let's see how this one is looking like. So we have this. I'm just gonna place this one down here, and let us also rotate it. So this is the one we've just brought in. Let us rotate this and we see if we are lucky, it is going to be one that actually comes with two material. Nice. So it's just a question of placing it now. Then we use the move tools to actually just move this. Let's bring this out a little bit. Say something like this, and we can try to centralize this too. You know what, let's just get rid of this other screen up here. We can always bring it back. We move this one up like this. I'm going to have to bring that out back. Takes a little bit of time for you to get it in place. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to move it back again a little bit, say so. And then we scale it. Like I said, you can always scale it to any size that you want. So it doesn't really matter what size you bring it in. You can turn a 12-inch screen to a 20 to a 100-inch screen even. Just move this out again a little bit. All right, there we go. Now let's test. So come here, and as you can see, this one is good too because it has a different material. So I think we're just going to use this one. It has a different material. I also really love the fact that it's really tiny. This really looks modern, you know, slim and stuff. So you can see this one has a different material in front here. As you can see, you see the frame has this material which is called material 1, and then this in front here has this other material which is called color CO2 or whatever. You can see that. All right. So this is the one that we're going to use. You can just further play around with it to really make it to centralize, very well. You can make it bigger, or I don't know, whatever it is that you want to make by just using the movement tools here. Like I'm thinking of moving it a bit again to this side, just so it should give an even offset at this angle. All right, and there we go. So this is part number one. Now, if we have brought this in, let's go back into we go back into movies now, and let's try to take a record of how we want the movie to play before we change that. So now I'm going to want it to actually start. I don't just want it to start directly on it, and stuff. You might want to show something else. I don't know, maybe this wine bar here. It's actually a wine cellar, very huge. We might want it to start here, then it slowly turns and it captures the screen, and stuff, and then it turns and it finishes that way. Yeah, let's do something like that. So it's going to be here. Now I'm not going to be doing anything as far as effects or anything is concerned in this case, because we've been doing effects a lot. You can just watch the previous videos to know how you can set up your interior effects. Oh, you sign up for our interior design course. All right. So the first thing, adjust your focal length. It should be at least 20 mm. Make sure that you position your horizontal eye level. And I'm just going to start from here. Now I want this to actually have a little bit of a transition. Sometimes you see videos that they shoot or that they render, and of course I'm saying shoot, yeah, this the whole thing really has to look realistic, and you see it's like you're moving behind but you're coming in front. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So now you see I've just taken this picture at this angle. Now I'm going to zoom this back like this. Why I turn the camera a little bit, say like this. I take a shot of this, and then watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna zoom this back in front again. I take another shot. Now watch what happens when I play it. I see it turns, it goes back. At the same time, it's trying to come back in front. You see that? And it's focusing. That's just playing with the camera. Okay. All right, let's continue adding that. We're somewhere at this angle. And then of course, I really want to use that here, what I just showed you guys, because I want to actually capture what is going to be displaying on that screen. But not only that, I also want to be showing what I'm showing as far as my interior design is concerned. So come in here, set my horizontal eye level. I take the first shot. Okay. And then of course, I'm going to pull this in to really zoom in close. I can put this around 27 maybe, or 28, yes, like that. And let's take another shot here, and then we're moving a little bit close. Centralize this a little bit like this. We take another shot, and then when I'm turning around like this, I move out back a bit, so it should expose more of the walls and then the screen again a bit. Let's keep that around 20. Take another shot there, and of course we end at this angle here. Always make sure your horizontal eye level is set. And all right, let's see how that looks like. So we have this angle, zooms in a little bit, then it spins around, goes to the screen, but it's a little bit far, so we created another shot that brought it a little bit closer to focus on it. That is beautiful. Then we turn right and we see what is happening out there. All right, now that we have our shot, let's just click on save, and we have it. It is actually this one. Okay, now the next thing that we actually have to do now is, let's go back in here. We now have to place what we want to be played here. Now at this point, you're already supposed to have a video. It can be a video of whatever. It can be a video of, I don't know, a movie or I don't know, just whatever you want to be played here. But don't take a video that is too long, you know, and stuff. Something very brief. Now I'm just going to use a video that was taken in the office, you know, with the designers working and stuff like that, and we place it here. So we come to materials, we select the screen now, and you want to open up standard, and you come to where it says colorization. Now, the procedure for people who are using Lumion from Lumion 8 might be a little bit different. You're going to see, but the color map when you come in here is still the same thing. The fact, because I'm using Lumion 12.5, also those who are using Lumion 2023 or 2024, we follow the same procedure, okay, but it is still the same thing. So what you're actually changing is the color map. If you can see, I think from Lumion 8, when you come in here, you should just see choose color map, okay. You should just see choose color map, and I think that is actually what you just need to select, okay. That's what you just need to select at this point. So I'm just going to come here. Watch very well. A lot of people always miss this. It is here where you have the colorization, you know, where you adjust the colors and stuff like that. As you can see, you can play around the color. Just at the left, this is it here, choose color map. So I'm just going to click there. Then this is the color map option that has opened. So I'm just going to click this now to open. Then I scroll to where I have the video that I actually want to be played up here, which is in this case, is this office video. I'm just going to select this one. Click on open. And boom, now you see there is a video there playing. Now you can play around with this a little bit. Sometimes you bring in the video and it doesn't just fit like this. There are some little stuffs which you are going to have to do to adjust it. Like me looking at this video right now, it's not really bright. I am going to actually want it to be a little bit brighter. So if I was to come to settings here and I just tune up the emissiveness just a little bit, you see that it just looks like I'm adding a little bit of light to it. Or if you wanted it to be darker, you can drop down the saturation, or you can just bring it up, make it to, but don't make it to be too. No, let's just keep it around 0.8 to 0.9. Yeah, I think this is better. Yeah, that is brighter. And now we have a video playing on the screen. That's just how you do it. So it's just by using that bitmap. And again, sometimes you bring in the video, it can appear too big or maybe too small. So what you just have to do is you have to use the scale. Like you see, if I start scaling it, you see what is happening? Somehow this video just fits, but it all depends on the dimension of the video that you're working with. Sometimes you're working with a video that is not really going to fit. This is because this is a 16:9 video that is a rectangular video or a landscape video, but sometimes you have portrait video. So whatever kind other type of video that you have, and you still want it to fit, so you just have to play around, you know, with the scale and stuff. All right, so that is how you fit the video, and you can see that video just keeps playing whether I turn and I'm doing what in the room, you know, and stuff. It just keeps playing there. The same thing goes for a picture. If you wanted just a picture to actually appear here and not a video, you can also still just follow the same procedure and do the same. Like if I was to select here, I come to colorization, I go open up the color map here, and where can I say we see a picture here? Let's just get a picture there. Let's see any picture. See any picture, any picture. Let me see. Okay, it's still showing here movie. So you change the type here. Now you see we want a picture, so it can be a PNG picture, it can be a JPG picture. So let's go PNG. Okay, and we have these are some bungalows, bungalow design, and boom. But look at what is happening. You remember that we turn on the emissiveness for that video, so it has picked up the same settings. Now the picture is not really clear, but now what I just need to do is to drop this all down, and we have that there. Is the colorization on? No. Play around with the glossiness. Can drop down the glossiness too. You see, glossiness was up. Reflectivity too. You can also drop it down. Maybe the relief, you drop it down. Just play around with all this so you get the best effect. I might want that my logo should be a little bit more visible there, and that will mean that I just need to drop down the scale a little bit. Now watch what is happening here. You see, as I'm dropping down the scale for that logo to fit, I am having another problem. What is the problem? it is just now becoming clustered, but I still want it to actually fit. So I'm just going to raise this up a little bit. Now let's say maybe I am somewhere here. Now you can come here to this offset and you just move this around a little bit. Say, let's say something like this. You can also move in the y-axis. Let's position that a little bit into the center, and then we'll scale that up again a little bit. Oof, we are almost there. So let's come back into the y-axis and we'll move that up, or just move that a little bit. There's a little bit of, so you see, there's a little bit of work which you need to do in order to just bring this to fit. And that is almost it, but we have a little bit of, so we just need to scale that up again a little bit. Let's hope we get that right. Oof, we overdid it, but I think you get the point, right? Yeah, you get the point. You just need to play around with this until you get the result that you want. And let's say we're okay with it like that, even though it still needs to go up a little bit. You know what you have to do? You have to play again with the y-axis. Let's just shift that down. Okay, there we go. Are you okay with that? Yes, okay, good. But I want a video to be there, so I'm just gonna switch this back and I go back and I place. Remember to switch the type here. We're back to video, so I go to MP4 file, select back the video, open, and there we have it. We have our video. The scale has been obstructed because of the adjustments we have been doing on the other one, and let us just try to balance the scale back the way it was. You know what, let's keep everything at 0. All right, there we go. And that is it. We have our video playing there. Now that is part number 1. If we go now in the movie, you know, where we actually have to do the final render, let's just test to see if that video actually plays. So that can be any video. And we have it here spinning right, and boom, do you see that? The video is playing on the screen while your design is still being presented. Now there's one thing I want to do. I want to change this environment. Now does that mean I have to go out and I start putting trees, creating roads, all those kind of stuff? I'll show you a trick that you can do to just change this whole environment from this daytime view to even make it look like a nighttime view, even to make it look like a nighttime view, like you are at night in a city, and you just have vehicles and everything, you know, moving around and stuff like that. Okay, let's do that. So I'm gonna come back into build, and the trick is going to be similar to this. So I don't like this daytime view, I want a different view. So again, I'm going to import something that we can use to change the color, and we bring in a color map. Okay, so I'll come here and I go to import. Now there's something that has already been designed for that, but you can still design something like this even in Revit. You can just create a wall. Now watch this, watch what is going to, okay, you see this wall, so you can see what is happening out there. That's just a wall. You can just create a wall, you change the material in front and you really make it to look big, and there you go. Okay, now we have to move that a little bit. So first of all, there's already something applied on it which I used before, so I'm just going to remove that so that you see the way it is by default. Let's take that off. Okay, so as you can see, it's just an empty blank looking kind of wall, as you can see on the right. Now let's move this in a little bit. I wanted to move it to really be close to the building. I really want it to be close to the building, say maybe even something like this. And let's go in and we see, okay, that's beautiful. Now at this point, if we don't want these plants here, we can come and do some cleanup, but this is just for you to get the point. Okay, so let's say we have this, now we have that wall out there. So what we're going to do now is, at this point, even you can even decide to maybe play around with the weather a little bit, play around with the sun, so the sun actually goes away from this space, so it should give some sort of you know, stuff like that. You can play around with the overhead too, so you get it out of this. Okay, something like this. I don't want to see it even at this angle. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, and then now what we'll do now is we'll come back to the material still, and I want to select this material here, and come to colorization, open this, go to the desktop. I want this here, this city view video, and there we go. We have a video that is actually playing there, but the video is not really I want it to really look realistic. So again, we play around with the scale. So I'm going to scale this down, scale it down a little bit. If we keep it at 0, it's just gonna look weird. Let's keep all the offsets at 0, and we start scaling this up. Okay, I think we're getting something. Now another thing is, I think we need to move this up. Just come back out here. I think we're going to have to move this up really. I think it's just so embedded into the ground. Yes, so let's move that up. It doesn't really matter what is out there, what is out here. What is important is what you can see inside. Okay, there we go. Now let's go back to the material, select that. And now what we are interested in is what you can actually see from the inside. You already see like everything has changed. Now this looks like you're in a building and there are vehicles, you know, maybe you are on a very tall building now and you have vehicles just moving down there. So we can even play around with the offset a little bit. Or we move this up again a bit. Let's move it up a bit again. Just a little bit. Yeah, something like this. Something like that. See how that looks like. Okay, this is better. Where does the video end? But now you see the video ends here. The video ends here, and then this is a repetition. So we might instead want that this should come straight. So what do? It's just a question of playing around with this. Select this back, but we go inside. So what are we going to be playing around with? The X offset, because we want to move this way. So X, there we go, perfect. Something like this. Okay, and now we have that. We're still seeing it, so you can still scale it up a bit, and you keep moving to get the perfect result. But I think you get the point. Okay, now we've scaled this up, and we're now going to have to adjust for Y. All right, something like that. And now let's see what this actually looks like. So this has just changed the whole perspective of everything. Now only you know that what is existing out here is this, and the only thing that you've done is just, but whoever is looking at this design will understand that no, this is actually maybe an apartment that is on like maybe the 10th or 20th or 30th or 50th floor, something. You're looking down into the city, you know, and stuff. And you can actually go ahead and you further adjust this. Like you can play around with the emissiveness, the saturation, you know, reflectivity and all that. Let's turn down the glossiness. And we'll give you just a little bit of gloss. Reflectivity, maybe just a little bit too. And the relief, just a little bit. We're just trying to make it be realistic. And we'll drop down the reflectivity, the emissiveness a bit. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and there we go. And now let's see how this is actually looking like. Let's come back to the video, play this now. Now this is just a fresh video without any effects or anything. I hope you understand that. If you want effects, you know what to do, and you can see we have our video that is playing here, as well as we are now in a city, you're not more in a desert. Just by making this change, it shows now that we are now in a city. We can play around with it so we adjust that, you know, stuff. But I think you get the point. Yep. So now when you've done this, you can now go ahead and you start building up your effects to get the result that you actually want for your video. I'm not going to be doing that here. We already have that. Let's just load in a custom interior effect there, something like this. And at this point, of course, you have to start adjusting all these effects one after the other for you to get the best result as far as the interior is concerned. But just look, just using this default one, you see it already changes the perspective and really makes this. But now it has made this to be a little bit bright, you know, because of the sun and all the exposure and every other thing that has been applied there. It's just a question of changing it, you know, now. And those are some of the things that we cover in our interior, in the advanced interior design course. If you are interested, you can sign up for the course. But this is what we had for you today, and I'm sure this answers the question as to how it is possible for you to put a video, any video you want, to be playing on the screen, as well as to change the environment. So when you are done, you can now create renderings that look like this. As you can see, it's an interior design. Don't mind what you see out there. That is just a color map, and of course the video that you see here was also brought in just the same way that I have shown you, as you can see. Now I'm sure another question is going to be like, how is it possible to actually have this design like this? The reason that this design is done like this is so that, you know, when it's on at this dimension, you can actually play it. You know, if you are using a portrait view like your phone, it just plays and it feels a full phone. Because if we render out this design like this is in landscape. You understand what I'm saying? Except you flip your phone to be landscape, it is just going to be hanging there in the center, you know, and stuff. Or it's just going to be like, you see the way you are watching this live stream right now, the video does not fill the whole screen. So that is also another thing that we cover, you know, and stuff. And we can actually provide you with the materials and stuff that you need, because what is happening here is we have just created something that you can use to blur out these two ends. When you are doing your rendering, what is happening is you are still rendering the full video, but you are focused only on the part that you want to come out. Now it depends on how you want the rendering to actually look like, or it depends on who is receiving the rendering. If you know that the person receiving the rendering is actually going to be playing it on a device like maybe a laptop or a screen, you know, then you don't have to render it like this, because it is going to play out like this. As you can see, you will actually want that the design should play like this, right? So it should fill the whole screen. But if you know that your audience mostly uses phones and stuff like that, then you might want to consider rendering it, you know, like this. Okay, that is all we had for you today. I hope you have actually learned something, and see you all in our next session. If you have any question, just type in the comments, okay? If you have any question, this is a live session, so there's going to be a replay of this after this, so you can just watch. And if in case you're having any question, just type in the comment, you ask your question, and we're going to try to attend to it. And again, if you have, or if you want to actually further and you know more, you really become a professional in all this, send us a private message and we are going to sign you or add you up for in one of our professional courses. All right.